A psycholinguistic analysis of Donald Trump's speeches reveals that despite his outward bravado and swagger, he actually has a pronounced depressive temperament. His State of the Union addresses, since he was inaugurated in 2017, have a frequency of usage of sadness words that, of all the 14 presidents from 1934 to 2020, is only exceeded by Franklin Roosevelt, as we can see in this chart. In addition, most of Trump's speeches during his 2016 election campaign had a very high level of sadness words. For example, his July 21, 2016 nomination acceptance speech in Cleveland had an extremely high frequency of sadness words. A photo of Trump speaking indicates that he has his characteristic smirk, which is a form of smile that conveys smugness and a lack of empathy. As we can see in the photo, his smirking smile produces clear lines around the corners of his eyes, indicating that it is a Duchenne smile, which is a genuine smile not intended to deceive. This is consistent with Trump's depressive temperament, since persons with Duchenne smiles tend not to have the strong internal locus of control and aptitude for careful impression management that is often seen in individuals with non-depressive temperaments. Trump's depressive temperament is also consistent with his evident obsessive-compulsive disorder that manifests itself in his germophobia, which he revealed when strongly denying rumors of getting golden showers from prostitutes in Russia. During the 2016 election campaign, Hillary Clinton, on the other hand, had a low frequency of usage of sadness words in her speeches. For example, her June 2, 2016 foreign policy speech in San Diego. A photo reveals that she has what is known as a non-Duchenne smile, which involves using the muscles around the edge of the mouth rather than those around the eyes. A non-Duchenne smile is considered to be a non-genuine or fake smile that is the result of the individual using impression management techniques to avoid conveying their inner emotions. Therefore, according to the book's hypotheses, we should expect to find that Trump tends to underestimate the resolve of adversaries, while Clinton tends to overestimate it. This can be seen during the 2016 election campaign when Trump rather naively stated that, "I think I would have a very, very good relationship with Putin, and I think that I would have a very, very good relationship with Russia. He does have an 82% approval rating." Unquote. Conversely, Hillary Clinton has doggedly maintained since 2016 that Trump is a Russian puppet and is somehow being blackmailed by President Putin, despite the Mueller investigation concluding earlier that there was no collusion between the Trump White House and Russia during the election campaign. Clearly, Trump is underestimating Russian resolve, while Clinton is overestimating it, and the truth lies somewhere between the two extremes. Trump's depressive personality bears a striking resemblance to that of Kaiser Wilhelm II, the ruler of Imperial Germany at the time of the outbreak of World War I, who probably had a psychological condition called histrionic personality disorder. This manifests itself in the need to be the center of attention, theatricality, an impressionistic style of speech, and the overestimation of the intimacy of relationships. Wilhelm was known for making brusque notes in the margins of diplomatic correspondence such as "very stupid," which is a phrase that frequently appears in Trump's tweets. However, a key difference between Wilhelm and Trump is that whereas the former surrounded himself with a close circle of like-minded advisors who also had depressive temperaments, Trump's circle of advisors all have non-depressive ones. Trump is more similar in this regard to President George W. Bush the Younger. After his inauguration as president in January 2017, Trump began to come under the influence of the hawks, Russophobes, and neoconservatives. These include Trump's former national security advisors, General H.R. McMaster and John Bolton, his former Secretary of Defense, James Mattis, as well as Vice President Michael Pence and the current Secretary of State, Michael Pompeo. Pence and Pompeo, based on a psycholinguistic analysis of their speeches and addresses, have happy, non-depressive temperaments, as we can see in this chart, and can be expected to exert a strong countervailing influence on the president's depressive one. This supports my book's hypothesis that during times when the happiness levels in Congress are on an upward trend, as they have been since 1969, the president or his close inner circle of influential advisors, or both, will have non-depressive temperaments. And that will mean that there will be greater risk of the outbreak of war due to the overestimation of the resolve of adversary states. President George W. Bush made the catastrophic and costly mistake of invading Iraq in 2003 in search of non-existent weapons of mass destruction. But Trump, commendably, has, as of the beginning of 2020, been able to step back from the brink of full-scale war with Iran and to listen to his inner voice that tells him not to overestimate Iran's resolve to further attack U.S. forces and installations. My book's hypothesis suggests, unfortunately, that ultimately Trump's inner voice will eventually be extinguished by the cacophony of non-depressive neocons around him, and that there's a serious risk that he may be goaded by those individuals into launching a full-scale U.S. attack on Iran in the relatively near future. However, one of my hopes in writing this book is to provide leaders with greater self-awareness of the biases that cause them to make the types of serious miscalculations that frequently lead to the outbreak of war, so there may still be some hope for peace.